Hello, and welcome to this edition of the January 10th, 2020 Self-Awareness Without Judgment with Traci Trimble, PhD. Hi, my name is Traci, and I'm a doctor of energy medicine. And what that means is that I work inside of the human bioenergetic field, inside the layers of trauma that exist within the physical, the emotional, the mental, and the spiritual. I also work inside of the cellular memory, and my job is to bring soul and ego together. So your mind and your emotions coming together as one. Today is part 5 of an 8-part series on the chakras, on how our body has the capacity to speak to us, to let us know that something is wrong before it manifests physically as disease or dysfunction. If you happen to have been following along in the past episodes, thank you so much for your time and your interest. I want to say thank you to everyone who have sent questions and asked for further guidance. I really appreciate the outreach. If you haven't been following along, in order to catch up, please go back to my Facebook page, True Path Consulting with Traci Trimble, PhD, to Friday, February 13th. Well, you'll find probably the most important episode of this series because it walks you through how Source speaks to us to let us know that we've gone out of alignment with what is best for us, with our highest self or with our true self. First, it's intuitively or spiritually. And if that doesn't work, there becomes a mental component. When that doesn't work, it becomes emotional. Here, in the emotions, we process through the 7 chakras. So far, we've done root, sacral, solar, and today we're going to be moving into heart chakra. Over the next couple of weeks, we'll finish that with throat, third eye, and crown. So again, to catch up, you simply need to go to my Facebook page and find the Friday, December 13th episode. So welcome to today. Today we are talking about an abundance of love and light, and we're specifically diving into heart chakra. Heart chakra is located on the physical body anywhere between the sternum, for women that's the bra line, and the clavicle, that dip in your chin, which is just below your shoulders, but it includes the entire span of your arms, your wrists, hands, and your fingers. Heart chakra in alignment is all about love and forgiveness, having the capacity to both give and to receive with ease and without limitation. Very often in alignment heart chakra, we would call love and light. As well as heart chakra being in alignment, this is a very sacred space. Heart chakra metaphysically is believed to be the sacred space in which soul resides. At the deepest level of heart energy is soul's sacred space, where our spiritual wisdom, knowledge, and knowing exists, where we remember our contract with Source from, where we are on purpose. But out of alignment, heart energy is sadness, grief, and a perceived sense of loss of self. If there doesn't seem to be a specific trauma involved with discomfort, pain, disease, or dysfunction within the physical body at heart center, very often it's about a feeling as though something has been taken away from us. Not only is it missing, but it's been taken, and that causes angst in itself. It's really important to realize that in any chakra work, what we're doing is shadow and light work. We're bringing energy back into balance or into alignment. Although our chakras are never opened or closed, if our chakra energy was closed, that would suggest that it's off, and therefore we would no longer have life force energy. So although we say things like opening the heart chakra, we don't mean that the heart chakra has been shut off. So when we open our heart chakra, we expand to make space for the energy of love to come in. But as we exhale, we open the back of our shoulder blades and we allow the energy of forgiveness to move out and to take with it past hurts, things that may get stuck, especially behind our shoulder blades. It's very common for non-beneficial energy that has manifested through our intuition past our mental capacity into our emotional incompetency to sit right behind the back of our shoulder blades. A misconception in physical pain is heartburn. Even though it's called heartburn, that's actually solar chakra energy. It's the anger moving up to make us feel like something's been taken away. But other very common heart chakra ailments will be chest pains, breast issues for men and women, but things like cancer, more common in women in breasts than in men. Very often pain in the heart meridians. So if you are male or female and you want to find your heart meridian, you'll start at the top of your shoulder and at your nipple. And there's a central place right in the middle that's actually very tender to the touch. The right side is your right heart meridian. And the more challenge that it gives you, the more likely on the right side you are out of alignment. You are becoming more and more incapable of giving love to yourself and others out of fear for some form of pain and suffering. On the left-hand side, again, between the nipple and the shoulder is a very tender spot. On the left side, the shoulder meridian or the heart meridian is about the incapacity to receive love from yourself and others. So at the back, behind the shoulder blades, is very much about the inability to give or receive forgiveness. The front is about giving and receiving love. As we move down the arms out into the fingers, we're getting farther away from the strongest, most central point of heart chakra. So if our heart chakra energy is contracting in and getting smaller because of fear, and it's going to sit right in the center of our chest to indicate to us that we're in chaos, then from the tips of our fingers through our wrists and our arms is left vulnerable, outside of the light, which is where shadow energy resides. It's really important, especially when doing heart chakra work, that we're not condemning shadow energy. Shadow energy is not bad, it just isn't good for us. What may be good for me may not be good for you. So therefore it's beneficial or it's not beneficial. It's really important to realize that heart center is also the space in which soul and ego commune. So when ego has the capacity to get out of warrior defense mode and out of navigating the outside world to protect the body at all costs, and it has the capacity to come and meet soul energy at heart, this is where we begin to heal. If you happen to know Reiki and you do Reiki on yourself or others for that matter, if you're unsure of what the actual trauma is, or the client, person, receiver is unsure of what's going on, heart chakra is pretty much always the safest bet to do any healing work. as we bring energy into, or as we bring love and abundance and self-love and light into heart chakra, it expands out through our whole body and it moves around us. Heart chakra pulls the energies from earth up into the heart so that they can be sent out into the heaven. So the lower energies are partnered with the upper energies. They work to balance one another. But the heaven energies also get pulled down into the heart so that the energies are sent out to the lower chakras. So the heart is literally, physically a pump, but also metaphysically a pump that creates the continuous flow of energy, not only within each of the chakras, but from each of the chakras as well. Heart energy visually looks like this. It is Sanskrit named Unedited, and it's about getting things unstuck and unhurt. Its purpose is love, relationships, and compassion. It is green, most commonly, so especially outer chakra energy is depicted by the color green, but deep inner chakra or inner heart chakra work is done through the color pink. This is a really very basic breakdown of heart chakra, but it gives you the idea that if something is presenting in your physical body, that it's speaking to you. It's telling you that if from your clavicle to your sternum, from the center of your chest all the way out to the tips of your fingers, if you're experiencing any annoyance, itchy, scratchy, throbby, burny, tingly, or numb, that your thoughts and your emotions are not in your highest good, and that this message is beginning to manifest to you in a physical nature. It's becoming matter. It's no longer etherical, a whisper to warn you that you're out of alignment. It's the first step of the universe telling you something is wrong. The second step is pain and suffering. It's a little more aggressive. And the third is disease and dysfunction. By then, the velvet hammer has come down and hit you, and you have no choice but to be aware that something isn't right, that the harm and the suffering you're experiencing is simply a message that you're out of alignment in some way in your life. Heart chakra, things that you want to pay attention to, numbness of the fingers. That's a really good indication that you are avoiding, escaping, or ignoring something that's causing you sadness and grief. It can be real or it can be perceived. You can really be going through the trauma of grief and unable to move forward. And please do not get me wrong with grief. You are not being asked to move on or let anything go. You're asking yourself to stay in motion so that you don't get stuck in that grief that becomes a perceived sense of hopelessness or despair. What's happening in that numbness, the avoid, the ignore, and the escape nature of things is that you are contracting all of your energy, all of your light into the smallest space, the most protective space for you. And although you may feel as though you're protecting you, your light is not shining. So therefore you become vulnerable to more like energies, other people, other places, other things that are also about grief. It's very challenging for us to heal from this type of sadness when we're controlled and compelled by it. Other things to pay attention to would be the challenge is breathing. Our lungs happen to be a large part of our heart chakra area. Heart chakra also is very often represented by the energy of depression and anxiety. When we hold on to sadness, we're very susceptible to the energy of depression. Now, if you start to feel pain that's in your heart center and it starts moving up into your shoulders and neck, know that that's more about the throat chakra than it is heart. It's the sadness, the grief, and the perceived sense of loss that isn't being processed. So it becomes something else, which we'll cover next week in throat chakra. But if you feel that energy moving down into your solar chakra, remember what we learned last week, that sadness, grief, and perceived sense of loss from heart chakra is now manifesting as shame, as anger, and as lack. It's so important that we give ourselves permission not only to be aware of what we're feeling, of what we're thinking, and how it manifests in our body, but that we do it without judgment. As human beings, we're really pretty good most of the time at being kind and compassionate when others need it. But we seem to be super hard on ourselves when we need it. So especially at heart chakra, we want to pull from us a kindness and a compassion that can be directed to our own selves. This is a really brief session on heart chakra. I hope that you got something out of it. Should you have any questions, concerns, or ideas, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. Email is best. It's traci@tracitrimble.ca. When you send your question to me, please make sure your first name, last name, and date of birth are included, and I'll connect directly to your essence energy, bringing your soul and ego into harmony, asking the question from the perspective of your highest good, and giving you the answer from that perspective. So hopefully you'll join me next week on Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as we go into throat chakra. We talk about being in our own truth, specifically in the quality of our thoughts, our words, our chosen actions and inactions that are designed to take us forward into our highest good. Before I say goodbye to you today, I'd like to share with you something exciting that's happening for me and my team. On Monday nights at 7 p.m., we've launched a membership-based educational platform called Heal Yourself, where I teach you tools to travel the journey of your own true path, where you move out of hurt and into healed. What's really important to realize about the message of this platform is that way too many of us think that we're broken, that we're irreparable, or that we should just disconnect ourselves in order to save ourselves from pain and suffering. In this educational platform, I teach you that we're not broken or irreparably damaged. What we are is hurt. And hurt stands for 4 very specific things. If you imagine the anagram HURT, hurt stands for habits and beliefs that control and compel us to cause harm and suffering to ourselves and others simply as a defense mechanism. Those habits and beliefs come from the you, the unconscious incompetence, the place where we're living in that moment. When we're unconsciously incompetent, we just don't know that we don't know, so we don't know. And we're unable to do our very best until we do know. And when we're stuck in unconscious incompetence, that sends us into the R, the rage. Rage is a burning anger that is very quiet and very fast. It starts out as an annoyance, it turns into a frustration, it becomes anger. We usually have pushed it down and said, no, I'm not allowed to be that, or it doesn't matter, I don't want that. And that turns into resentment. And once resentment has the capacity to percolate through habits and beliefs and unconscious incompetence, it turns into a burning rage that burns stuff down from the inside first, but from the outside as well. And that sends us into trauma. We get triggered by people, places, things, scenes, situations, and scenarios that add evidence to our lack of worthiness through some sort of trauma, physical, emotional, mental, or spiritual. So as I will teach you in this new learning platform called Heal Yourself, that is live online, Monday nights from 7 to 9 Eastern Standard Time, we're going to travel from hurt to healed. Heal, if you can imagine the acronym HEAL. H stands for to happiness. E stands for to emotional competence. A stands for being in alignment. And L, finding love, specifically unconditional love for ourselves without judgment. If you become a member, instead of just dropping into episodes now and then, you'll have a dashboard of every episode that has ever been recorded. So you can follow along in the order of the 33 sessions that are the program called Heal Yourself. And that is $40 plus HST per month. But to drop in, you can just drop in for $20 plus HST. But you'll have to do so at the live event time from 7 to 9 because a recording won't be sent. If you have any questions about Heal Yourself or, again, about our episode today on Heart Chakra, please don't hesitate to reach out to Traci at tracitrimble.ca. I'm really looking forward to continuing to share these 20 to 30 minutes every Friday afternoon at 12 Eastern Standard Time. Have a great weekend, everyone.